Hey, and welcome back to the Quest for Completion Live Edition. We're on episode 9, and the characters, they've gotten a bit of a stat increase. So right now, every one of the characters' main stats got increased by roughly 1k, and some minor increases in the side stats. But mainly, they're all level 93, they have a little bit more stats, and we're ready to swap out a bunch of our gear. So the Serpent Staff, this is going to be an important bit. It gives you a speed multiplier of 1.1 times, meaning when I run around on my apprentice, as you can see, I'm moving a little bit faster. But none of our other characters have those speed multiplier weapons. And I'm going to be honest, as cool as Tomb of Etheria is, I hate it, so I'm not going to be doing more of it until I have to. So instead, we're going to be doing different maps to get our speed multipliers. And that also coincides with this, our Fissionable. Salute to the Fissionable right now. They have served us so well, but it's time for them to go. We're going to be replacing them. On top of that, we need to upgrade our accessories, because right now, our accessories aren't the best, but more importantly, they're not upgraded at all. And the reason I haven't upgraded them is because they cost 15 billion mana per piece to upgrade. And that's quite a lot. On top of that, most of our characters just, they need upgrades. Like all our gear is basically just one stat max, and then that's it. So we need mana. We need to get new pets or some sort of form of movement speed multipliers. And we also need a DPS pet for our EV, because right now she doesn't have a good one. We need to get her a propeller cat. So start of the episode is going to be Lost Quests, Sky City. We're going to do this on Ruthless Hardcore with just one player, which will unlock for us the survival to get cats. And we're going to do the entirety of the survival just for completion. And then on top of that, doing it on campaign will also give us a new skin for our initiate. Because honestly, I'm tired of this. Or not initiate, whatever this character is called. I'm tired of it. All right, the skin is old and boring, and I don't like it. But once we're done with that, we're going to move on to Wintermire, Ruthless Hardcore, Nightmare Hardcore, whichever hardcore. And we're going to do this, both the campaign and the survival. So campaign, we're just doing to unlock the survival. And on top of that, we're going to get 4 or maybe 8. I don't know if double rewards applies to the coal, but we're going to be getting coal as a reward from it. And the coal, you can actually trade 1 big coal for 20 billion mana. So every completion of this will be giving us anywhere between 80 and 160 billion mana, depending on if you get 1 or 2 coal per character on Ruthless. But yeah, and then the survival we're going to be doing for 2 reasons. 1, I just like the snowman pet that you get on wave 25. And 2, more importantly, because our fish are out of date and we need speed bonuses, the pet reward you get from Wintermire on screen right now, it gives you a 1.55 times speed multiplier. It has a much higher stat cap than our fish. And most importantly, it has a level 93 requirement. And right now, every single one of our builders, with a couple of exceptions, they will be able to equip that pet. So at least 2 times we'll be completing this survival. And yeah, after that, or maybe before that, depending on if we can manage it, I'd like to do Crystal Cave on Ruthless or Nightmare, probably Ruthless Hardcore, just to get ourselves XP. Because like I said, our Hermit and our Warden, and basically all of our other characters, we just need XP. And I don't want to have to keep doing Ember Mounts. So yeah. After Crystal Cave, I don't really know what I have planned, to be honest, but probably something to give us accessories. Maybe, I was looking at this, maybe if we can, we'll do Ogre Crush, because this is apparently pretty good, but no matter what, I'll figure something out to get us accessories. But yeah, that's the plan for this episode, and let's jump into Sky City Ruthless. Alright, so Sky City Ruthless, the build is actually kind of one that I stole, but it's not a good build. We're going to place an aura here, lower its size by 1 because it's a bit too big otherwise, and then place a strength drain aura right there. And then from that, we're going to move on to a different character, namely our EV. So here's a plan for the EV. We're going to go get a bit of extra mana, and we're going to place down a bunch of buff beams. So for the campaign, I like doing this, but for the survival, I don't. So there will be 2 different builds with the campaign. I do a 40U buff beam there, a 40U buff beam here, something like that, probably more centered, and then 2 1DU reflectors, 40U buff beam right here, and then another 1DU reflector, and then one last 1DU reflector back here. So that's it for the main section here, and then for the area where we're going to be stacking towers like crazy, I'm going to place down a 40U buff beam as long as I can make it there, and then badoom, 1 reflector, badoom, 2nd reflector. And that's that. Now let's move on to the main hero of the moment, which is our Hermit. So, just refresh on the stats. Not crazy, not anything minor either. Hermit is really nice because of the towers that are just crazy overpowered. So you have the Forest Golem. This guy right here, he just has like a gajillion HP. He heals nearby towers. He gives them resistance, I think. And he just does a ton of damage. So, all in all, just a great character. Great build. And on top of that, this Mushroom Skewer Tower, apparently this is like lowers enemy defense, so it's pretty good. But for the moment, Forest Golem, just 2 at every entrance point. That middle entrance point, you could do 3 at, but I'm not going to do that. And then over here, we're lacking on mana. So in the meantime, while I go over here to get even more mana, the Seed Bomb Tower, we're not going to use that for this, but we will be using that for survival, and we'll probably definitely be using that if we ever get to Crystal Cave. So keep an eye out for that. And then also Web Walls, crazy good. Definitely going to be using them for both the campaign and survival, pretty much on every map, honestly. They're ridiculous. It's just like a 1.5 times damage multiplier, or more, I think. So they're just really good. And then the Nature Pylon, I'm going to be honest, I don't really think it's that useful, but we'll use it basically just because why not? But for the moment, I want to place down a Nature Pylon, a Spore Tower, and a Forest Golem. I don't have enough mana. Okay. We'll sell one of these. I guess we don't have enough mana either way. Okay, whatever. We can't do the entire build on Wave 1. It is what it is. But we want to place one of everything up there. In the meantime, I guess I'll show you guys where I like to place my walls. So I like to place a web wall somewhere like this. A bit more left, actually, but within this area. Then I place a web wall down here, 2 DU on each of these, and then one last one down here. And that's it for the web walls. If you want, you can place another one here, or you can make this one a 4 DU one, whichever you choose. But this is just what I stick with, at least for the campaign. And then we're going to move on to our Jester. And actually, instead of our Jester, let's move on to our Apprentice. And let's level up all of our towers super well. So, equip you. I'm just going to heal, because why not? So, on the Apprentice is actually a pretty cool little thing you can do. If you just sit here, you actually prevent any enemies from moving from that one spot. And because they have so much health, considering we're on Ruthless, they have so much health, they're not going to die for a while. Meaning, they're kind of in purgatory, just being farmed for mana. Which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And they're just going to stack up more and more up until a certain point. I guess we've reached that point. And then now we can just continue. As long as we hit in the same spot, they're not going to move forward. They're not going to get destroyed by the golems. So it's just a very, very good mana farm. But yeah, this isn't entirely necessary. Frankly speaking, for the campaign, I don't think you really need to mana farm or do anything like that. Fully upgrade the towers, yada, yada, yada. They don't really get that low to begin with. And it is for sure overkill. But me personally, I just like leveling. And most importantly, I just have fun leveling everything up with this strategy, because it just feels so much better than using Jester. God, I'm tired of using Jester to level. It's very nice to be able to do this. But what is that, everything leveled? Everything except for the walls. Now, if you want, you can level the spider walls. They are actually worth leveling, because they increase the damage multiplier you get when you level them up higher. So it's probably worth leveling them, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. Also, I should mention, the build that I have for Sky City, it's not, how to describe it? It's not a very well thought out or amazing build. It's just something that I cobbled together after finding other people's builds, and I just kind of made it work. Especially so for the survival. The survival is very stupid. Anyways, sir, would you like to move? By the way, watch the damage of this. These towers just... Oh, 3.8. And that would get, yeah, 6.1, 6.4-ish million. A little under double DPS from those webs, so you can see why I have them there. Anyways, going to be going back on this character. And we're going to place down that little stack I was talking about earlier. Just the very basic 1, 2, 3. And then also a Seedler Tower facing each direction, just for fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should be it. That's it for the Hermit. Now, if you want, you can do more Seedlers, but I find the DU is better spent on other things. Namely, if we go on this character here, I like putting down a whole bunch of Lightning Towers and Deadly Strikers, because enemies on this right side get stuck a lot, so having a Deadly Striker facing that way is pretty nice. So something like that, and then something like that, and then one facing back in this direction for Goblin Coppers, and then just a whole bunch of Lightning Towers. I should probably move one of these reflectors, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'll replace that reflector. The reflector, I don't know if it's super important for the campaign, but for the survival, it definitely is. The reflectors, you'll see for the survival, the reflectors are very, very important. But for the moment, that's pretty much all you got to do. It should be fine. Basically, the reason that you can get away with this is because for some reason on this map, the crystals have negative aggro, meaning that enemies are far more likely to just go after anything else that isn't the crystals, like your towers or you, than they are to go after the crystals. And on top of that, these forest golems that we have, they actually have like increased aggro for enemies, so it's pretty nice. But we're just going to sit here, fully upgrade up all of our towers. By the way, isn't it kind of weird how whenever the tower that I'm standing on changes its direction, the projectiles that I've already shot that are in air also change direction? That's really weird. That's so strange. It's very, very weird. Very weird bug. It doesn't really hurt all that much, but it's certainly interesting. Now, if you are struggling with this, I would recommend just placing down a whole bunch of, a whole bunch of minions. So what I like to do for the survival, and what you might want to do on the campaign if you're struggling, is definitely right here, place down an ogre, or anywhere you can see a gap, basically, for enemies to get through. Like over here on the left, you'd want to place down an ogre. Over here seems to be fine, yeah. But if you're able to get through, so are enemies. So anywhere that you have that kind of a problem, place down an ogre, and you'll be fine. And then back here, either on this buff beam or on a different buff beam elsewhere, as long as they're not going to get hit by the ogres, basically, place down, like, 5, 6 mages, maybe more, and then just a gajillion archers. Maybe some spiders would also be nice, but just place down a hell of a lot of towers because, you know, the individual damage might be pretty low, but when you stack the towers, it adds up. And before I forget, make sure you swap out onto a fairy or some kind of a healing pet. Not entirely necessary, but it will make your life a hell of a lot easier if you don't have to worry about getting damaged as much. You can't tank, but you can certainly take a lot more. For boss time, you want to be right where I am on the map because they spawn here. And if you're on Jester like I am, crystal, crystal, press V, crystal, and make sure to remember that you actually have a double jump. So if you spend enough time in the air, which you will if you use these big golden jump pads, you actually get a double jump. I personally like to zoom out for this section, but you don't have to. Those rockets right there, they won't ultra kill you, but they'll do a lot of damage. So try to dodge those. The ogres, those will ultra kill you. That's bad times USA. So do your best to dodge them. Now that I look at it, I think those rockets aren't even doing fire damage. I'm pretty sure that's just generic damage. So I guess you don't need to specialize for fire damage. Anyways, once you hear the woo, 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 just get off the thing. If you're behind this section here, you're going to be in a bit of a pickle. So instead of jumping off immediately to the next island, you're going to want to float on top of the little, whatchamacallits, the little golden booster pads that the ship has on its sides. Because more likely than not, you're just not going to have enough speed in order to make it onto the main platform. And if you land on the back platform of that area, you're just screwed. You can't do anything about it. Now, let's get back onto this. Now, I have tested this, and even with 4 players, you can just about manage. But I think enemies deal a little more damage, and more importantly, the boss has like 2 billion HP with 4 players. So, I would not recommend doing it. But for us, even with this crummy old weapon that we have that could be replaced by like a eagle crested standard, it's easy enough. It's certainly easy enough. As long as you circle, you don't get hit by the ogres too much, and you get off whenever you need to, you'll be doing perfectly fine. And in case you're worried about what's happening in the main island, whenever you land back on here, you can go ahead, and do a triple sword just to ease things along. And I think the only reason that this is as easy as it is, or I guess as possible as it is because of this bad boy right here, the nature golem. I think your towers here do get targeted, but it doesn't matter because the nature golem both reduces the damage they take and it heals them. So it ends up being perfectly fine. Now, if you're feeling a bit risky, which I'm feeling right now, you can actually run all the way over here and get onto the battleship from this island, and you can end the fight a little bit early. Double fun fact, if you actually just have like a good enough barbarian, you can just one-shot the crystal. You don't even have to do any of the other stuff that I've done here. But I don't, because we haven't built our barbarian whatsoever. Oh, that's going to hurt. Ah, that hurt a lot. Thankfully, that ogre didn't have any kind of an elemental stat on it. Elemental stat ogres, they deal their normal damage and then their normal damage in elemental, which you'll probably have less resistances for. But either way, there we go. We got a Eternia shard thing. Cutscene that I'm going to skip. If you want to watch it, go watch it on Google, YouTube. Outfit unlocked, and a whole bunch of achievements. And that is Sky City. If you want, you can do it with more than, one character, but it'll just take longer and be more annoying. And I personally wouldn't recommend it. Wow, that is pathetic. That is the worst reward I have ever seen. If you get lucky, ooh, this is good. If you get lucky, this map can give you a melee weapon that you can use on your barb. And that tends to be pretty good if you get it in ultimate, but we unfortunately not only got a bad weapon type, we also got a horrible weapon rarity. But either way, we're not here for the rewards as much as we are here for the skin and survival. And before I forget, skin time. Edit hero, and there we are, Sky Captain. Best skin for this character. Followed closely behind by the Cupidette, but personally, big fan of the Sky Captain. That looks perfect. That's 1,000 times better than the previous one. For the survival of this map, it's actually a fairly similar build to the campaign, with a few minor tweaks. Pretty much the exact same aura setup, one smaller size gas trap, slow aura thing, and then massive big boy mode, strength drain really far forward, then move on over to your EV, and this is where the autism starts to shine. So we'll get over to that area in a second, but this is what matters for the moment. This crystal. I don't know why, but repeatedly when I was doing this map, I found that an archer would just sit right here, despite everything else, and just start beating the shit out of this crystal, which is really annoying. So I found a solution, which is a reflector beam. Not just one, about 5 of them. So the reason that you're placing down this many reflector beams is because with one reflector beam, sure, you're safe, but more often than not, every single round you're going to have a Jhin pass by and say, oh wow, look at that. And then it's just going to destroy the reflector, because, why not? But the moment that the Jhin destroys the reflector, they just fuck off. They don't continue blasting down reflectors. They'll just destroy the one, and then they'll move on. They got something better to do. So by having, like, a ton of reflectors over there, it kind of solves that problem completely. By the way, this reflector, mega important. Skycopters will sit right here and blast the shite out of your golems otherwise. So, next up is the buff beams. Right here, we're going to place a 4DU buff beam, pretty similar to the one in campaign. Place a super long reflector and another super long reflector, something like that. And here's another difference from the campaign to the survival. I'm placing a cross-shaped thingamabobber of buff beams. So the reason for that is the minions. Previously, the minions weren't being buff beamed, I think, but now they will be, because it's necessary. It is very necessary. The minion DPS, it adds up quite a lot. One thing I will say is that there is actually some value to having a couple of spider minions mixed on with your mage and your what's the other one called? Mage and your archer minions, because while the spider web thingamabobbers, while they do last a while from hermit, I think, let me place one down just to figure out the exact numbers. They don't last forever. 6.7 seconds. So like they really don't last that long actually, which that is most of the time going to be enough to like kill any enemy, considering you get basically double damage. But on the later waves, when ogres have like, half a billion HP, because we're going to be doing it with 4 players, but when those ogres have half a billion health, it's less manageable to get away with those web walls entirely. So in my experience, best to have a few spider minions in the stack as well. Anyways, same web wall placement for the most part as before. Place a 2DU web wall there, one here, something like that. And then over here, this is going to be another difference from campaign, but place a 2DU one, and then I'd say like a 4DU one here, something like this. Or actually, hold on, let's be a bit smart about this. This web wall here will only affect the goblins or the sky ogres who come from this direction. I think you want to just place one here, because this will affect the ogres who come from up there, and then place another one, something like that, because ogres are also able to spawn from this door, and that'll deal with that problem. But yeah, that's all the web walls. A few more things to go on the hermit, but for now, let's move on to the apprentice and level everything up. Now, while I'm here, I should mention a few things. One big thing, is that it's not a very good build. You could confuse this for a good build. It's not a good build. Those reflectors at the very bottom crystal, they're going to disappear after a while, just from, you know, what's we call it, Jins. So every round, one of them will go away no matter what. Potentially up to 3 of them. So no matter what, you're going to have to replace them every couple of rounds. The more reflectors you place, the less frequently you have to replace them. So just keep that in mind. But me personally, I'm only going to be doing this map like once for the full survival, because I don't think the pet from here is like anything crazy. And more importantly, we got better things to do. Wave 25 is when you get the propeller cats. And Wave 25 does not take that much time to get to. And it is not very difficult to do either. Because you just start at Wave 23, and then you do 2 waves, and then you're done. So because of that, this janky build, it only needs to work once to get us the completion of the map, and then after that, you know, whatever. I have had in the past a goblin right here, and he just beats the shit out of the crystal and we lose. I think that can happen. That can happen at that top crystal, or I guess the bottom one down here as well. But in my experience, it hasn't, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Anyways, back onto the Warden. Now, this, I think because there isn't a boss, you don't need a forest golem back here, but I just like placing it. It makes me feel safe. But same-ish thing as the campaign. Forest golem, spore tower, and then nature pylon. Then slap on top of there 1 seed bomb tower, 2 seed bomb towers. Call it a day. Swap over to your apprentice. Now, on the apprentice, the more lightning towers you have, the better, basically. But the way that I like to do it is I like to have just about at least 3 lightning tower, or not lightning, deadly strikers, and then the rest lightnings. So here's what I do. I place a lightning tower facing something like this direction, and then I place one facing this direction, and then I face one facing this direction-ish. And then the rest is just lightning towers, as many as you can manage. There we go, perfect. The reason that you have one facing in that direction is because Goblin Copter's coming from that direction, and the Goblin Copter that comes from that direction, most of the time it'll just drop the Ogre into the abyss, but sometimes, late waves, it'll drop the Ogre right on top of here, and while it can't damage your crystal, it will damage you and your towers a lot, so not the best. But that's why we have one facing there, and the rest of them are basically for the same reasons. Enemies like to get stuck on top of these things over here, so that's what the Deadly Strikers deal with when they're facing that direction, and then over here, I think it's just general DPS, but occasionally enemies, well, not occasionally, very frequently, enemies don't get stuck back here, but there tends to be at least like 4 or 5 wyverns at the very, very end that are just sitting there like asshats, so that's the deal with them. Now then, summoner time. So for the summoner, first thing you're going to do is make sure you have 500 mana. Thank you, sir. Or ma'am. Make sure you can't go through your forest golems, because if you can go through, then so can ogres. There's probably going to be a gap somewhere here, probably between these 2 guys. Oh, no, there isn't. Look at that. This might be pushing it. We'll probably place down a character there. Character? Ogre. So, place down an ogre anywhere where you think enemies might be able to get through. And I think this is potentially one of those locations. So I'm placing that bad boy down right there. Now, this part I'm testing out just now, but I'm going to place down 1, 2, maybe 3. Now, let's just stick with 2. Not spider, mage minions there just to heal the ogre, because the ogre, he's got a lot less health than everything else here. So, you know, if he does go down, or if he does get hit, I'd rather him not go down. Then I'm going to place down a spider for every major choke point. Maybe a mage with you as well. Screw it, why not? And then after that, I'm going to preload archers and mages here. And I'm going to place down 2 mages and then 1 gajillion archers. So 1 mage, 2 mage. You can do as many mages as you want. They do have nice splash damage, but the single target damage is a bit weak, and that's mostly what you're relying on for the later waves. Anyways, then just place down a lot of archers. And this is where the cross pattern on the buff beams takes place, because if you somehow have not enough mana to place down all of your archers, that's okay, because you can just place down the rest of them on the other side of this cross. So yeah, that's the whole point of that. But I think we will have more than enough mana. Look at that. I might actually sell... why not? Why bother? I was going to sell one of those and place down a mage, because then I'd be perfectly maxed out on MU, but I don't care about it. Now, let me add in the extra character. I'm going to be leveling this character right here, the Warden in the background, because we need to get her to level 78 at the very least. So, add the extra character in. And for these first, like, I'd say up until wave 16-ish, I don't know, before wave 25, basically, you don't got to worry about anything. None of your towers will go down. The crystals aren't likely to get hit. You can just kind of sit here, press the 9 button, and then just go to town. As far as the XP goes, it's nothing crazy, but especially for these like early waves, you're not getting that many more enemies and that much more HP per extra character, especially if it's only one extra one. So I don't really mind. I really don't mind. If I can, I would really like to make sure that our extra character is able to move on up to like level 83, because then I can equip somewhat of a proper set on him, on her, whatever the Warden is. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the other reason we have the Archer stack. It's not just for the Ogre DPS on later waves, it's because spiders drop down right here, and if they hit your stack of towers, maybe it's not over, but it's certainly close. Yep, there's the first reflector. Probably the first two, honestly. Yep, that was both. Wow, you guys are loud. Oof. Swap over to any other character. In this case, I'm going to bring in my Warden. Ooh, can I give you any kind of gear? Oh, I forgot we had the monkeys. Ooh, ah, ah. I'm just going to give her a monkey for now. And then I'm going to move on, add in our monk. And basically, from now on, for every single wave, you can have other characters wherever. And start tower boosting. You don't necessarily need it, especially for a lot of these earlier waves, and especially if you're not going to wave like 35 plus. 35 plus, up to 30 plus waves. But it speeds up the waves quite a bit, so just sit here, activate your thing, lower your game audio, and then just wait for the video game to happen. Now that we're fully built, let me tell you the setup and the plan. You're going to bring in as a secondary character your monk, Mr. Monk right here. He's just going to be holding right click and tower boosting the entire time. Make him not your main character so that you can actually, like, you know, go away from your computer. As your main character, I would highly recommend having a Guardian Summoner, and then place him back here. And then if you want, bring in like an extra XP character, like I have my Warden here. Place them somewhere here, maybe a bit farther back if they have a long range pet. And then they'll be A-okay, they'll be getting the XP. As long as you're before wave, I think like 28 or something like that, the enemies won't get that much more health, and there won't be that many more enemies, so having extra characters really won't matter that much. But, yeah, starting wave 30, it's probably not a good idea to bring in all those extra characters, because it also means one constant thing you're going to be dealing with, like, no matter what, but you'll have to deal with it less if you bring in less characters, is replacing these reflectors. Again, as long as there's, like, 3-4 of them up at the same time, you'll be fine, but just keep in mind, 1 or 2 of them will go down every single round. You know, that's why we're only doing this map once. All right, now that we're on the last couple of Ogres, let me bring in the extra character of whatever kind. All right, now I'll leave the game. Okay, let's look at the propeller cats. They're probably going to be hot garbage, because on average, the propeller cats... God damn it. The propeller cats just don't roll well. Let me see what level you got. Oh! Okay, a little bit more of the Warden, because she's about to get to level 83, which I am very excited for. Also, it seems like a lot of our reflector beams in the back aren't going down right now, which I am not complaining about. I'm pretty sure this is a cursed one, because it's sell point. This one is Dookie, because it doesn't have many upgrades. This one is Dookie, this one's Dookie, this one... They're all hot garbage. Okay, here's a rundown for propeller cats. I'll show you guys on this one. So, what you care about is boost intensity, number 1. By far above everything else is boost intensity. Boost range, doesn't matter. Number of heroes boost. This might matter to you, depends. But like, as like a secondary pet, you only ever really need to get this up to like +2, is what I'd say. But the way propeller cats work is that every 2 upgrades, or every 3 upgrades, you're able to upgrade the boost intensity. And every 30 upgrade multiplier, you know, every 30, 60, 90, whatever, you can upgrade the number of heroes to boost. So basically, you just upgrade whatever stat you want, and then you upgrade the boost intensity, and then whatever stat you want twice, and then boost intensity, blah, 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 blah. And then if you want to, you get to choose between boost intensity and number of heroes to boost. But that's pretty much how propeller cats work. You can see, based off of these ones, there's a big variety on how they can roll between their initial boost intensity, along with the number of upgrades they have. And you can occasionally end up with things that are just hot garbage, like this one. But the majority of them are actually going to be within like something like this or something like this, where it's really lacking in one aspect or another. But I'm pretty sure they can't roll above mythical. Maybe they can roll transcendent, or it's like a crazy rare or something like that. But I want, in terms of propeller cat, I'd like 2 of them, but no matter what, I want one that's got like 150-ish boost and positive ability to hero HP, hero damage, all that shebang. And I'd like to give it at least like 2 characters, two whatchamacallits, 2 characters that it can boost this stat right here. But yeah, these are all insanely bad, and I'm only going to keep this one because it's mythical and it looks cool. But I think our Warden is just about... Yeah, cool. Okay, no more Warden. Get out of here. Now, if I were to add extra characters, which I'm not going to, but in the future for the final wave, it's going to be the same 2 characters here, along with a probably our Apprentice and our Jester. Apprentice just to boost our whatchamacallit. Apprentice just to boost our lightning and destruction and all that towers, and then Jester because Jester is amazing. The good thing is you don't have to worry about any pet rewards up until wave 25 because this map sucks and there are no pet rewards until wave 25 or 35. Sorry. Actually, I'm curious, how much HP do the ogres have now? What are we looking at? 225 million. Oh, that's fun. That's a lot of fun. Oh yeah, another thing that starts happening is you get these mini ogres. They don't have that much HP, but I think they do a lot of damage or something. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, they don't live for very long because they don't have that much HP. Cool though. Whoa, 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 whoa! I see you over there. Hold on, let's finish this wave. I didn't really expect this whatsoever, but whoa, you are garbage. Not even good for... Well, maybe not garbage. I don't know. Maybe I could use that for something. I don't know. We'll pick it up. It's Ultimate ++. Honestly, if I am able to get Ultimate ++s, then why not look through these chests, you know? Double also, somehow none of our beams have gone down for like 3 rounds in a row. I guess when I was testing this, I was using 4 players, and that was a lot more HP. But with just 2, it's not too bad. But you'll see on the final wave, it gets really really bad on the final wave. Still very smooth, honestly. I was expecting we'd have some troubles, but I have been able to very comfortably continue watching One Punch Man. It's pretty nice. We are beginning to struggle. Oh wow! It has been a while since I looked in this general direction, but there is chaos. Also, I think we're now entering the territory where a tower boost is going to go down, and hopefully everything else doesn't go down with it, because there's a good chance that it will. There's 2,000 enemies now, so you could tell later on waves the enemy multiplier is pretty nasty. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not quite sure how this happened. I'm gonna be entirely honest. This is a bit confusing. Okay, well, if this is how we're doing things, at least on this character I can move the ogre and all that, but I'm gonna have to replace these guys, and the only efficient way I know how to replace them is to just get rid of them. That's very strange, though. I didn't really, I don't know why that happened. The ogre didn't move, by the way. You notice that? The ogre is still chilling there, perfectly fine. These 2 guys, maybe it was just the guy on the left, but he really must not have been a fan of where he was placed. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm not touching the cats, petting the cats, it's because if you interact with the cats or any of the other things that give you mana on the Lost Quest maps past Wave 2, or I guess starting Wave 3, you get items sent directly into your inbox, which I'm not particularly a fan of, so yeah, we're avoiding that. Wow, we have been here for an hour and a half. That is depressing. And the XP rate really is bad, considering that time. Alright, neat. Now we are on the final wave. And a good amount of XP, all in all. Get that character out of there for the moment. So, here's the rundown. We're going to place down the last of our EV beams. We're going to bring in the same characters we had, plus one other one. And then we're going to kind of hope and pray. Jester wheel is going to be really important. I'll be honest. I don't think you need the Jester and all that, because I have done like literally every wave of this with 4 characters without the Jester, excluding the final wave, but I don't think there's that much of a difficulty increase between the final wave and the semi-final wave. But in case you are following along, it's definitely worth it to just bring out your summoner, your whatever. Just bring out a summoner to open these last chests, because without a doubt, the chests here right now, all of these chests have the exact same quality as the ones in Infested. Like, they are fully capped out in their loot potential. I wonder what map has the highest amount of chests. As far as I'm aware, once you get into the later waves of pretty much any map that's got a long survival, they all reach the same quality as Infested when you're doing it on Ruthless. Now that we're on the final wave, I do have to inform you guys of something. You can't actually farm this map for its campaign rewards because, unfortunately, it's just going to give you a bunch of random rewards. I don't know why, but that's just how Sky City works. Its campaign survival just ends with random junk. So for the moment, here's what we're going to be doing. Main character is going to be the Jester, and I guess we can keep the Fairy. It doesn't really matter what we have on the Jester. Secondary character, for sure, going to be the Monk. Don't ask me why I removed him earlier, just I did. Third character, definitely this character right here, Joby. And then the last character, while normally I would have it be like a Barbarian or something so we can start getting some barb weapons, because of the fact that there are no designated map rewards for survival of this map, for some strange reason, other than the pets obviously, I don't think it's worthwhile to bring in any extra character that isn't going to be super useful, which is why we're bringing in our Apprentice. I forgot to swap out the Genie. That's interesting. So we've had like significantly lower stats, like minus 500 in pretty much every stat this entire time. That would explain why we were troubled so much. That would explain a lot. Well, either way, let's equip back the old fish pet. And then, I mean, this character can die, so it doesn't really matter what they do. But the other characters, no, they must leave. So, let's place our Jester somewhere near the main area. Swap to this character. Start shooting. Boost. Hide the other screens, and then every once in a while, periodically, you want to use a triple sword on your Jester. And other than that, if you want to, DPS down things as much as you feel like it's worth doing. Now I'm thinking I'm going to save the Wheel of Fortuna up until we get our tower boost to go down, because, I mean, not much else we're going to be doing with that tower boost down, and more importantly, shit will absolutely hit the fan the moment that the tower boost goes down. On the final wave with 4 characters, I mean, the Jins have 100 million HP plus, so... Ogres, 360 mil. Actually less than I thought they'd be, funnily enough, but that means that they will survive enough to do enough damage to become a problem. Okay, tower, whatchamacallit, is down. Yep. Time to triple sword to make sure that things keep going as they're supposed to. There we are. Keep DPSing things down up until you can get that tower boost going, and you should be golden. Man, it really, really is a shame that the map doesn't actually give you unique rewards for the survival. It's not like it would be really worth farming anyways, but the fact that it just gives you nothing is really sad. Also, if I'm being entirely honest, I kind of do want to get some, like, maybe not mythical, but at least, like, transcendent-ish pet rewards from this map, because although the pet reward from this map is kind of dookie, it's kind of useful, at least in terms of leveling your characters. Oh yeah, in case you actually are getting really low on mana, you can just quickly drop some to your Jester, or to your Monk. Forgot about that. So we can really keep this going for a while longer. I guess if you have, like, a Genie, you don't really need to worry about anything, because the Genie is just going to, you know, that'll keep you topped up for pretty much the entire time. Whoa, whoa. Oh my god. That's just unlucky. That's literally all there is to it. It is just unlucky. That's such a shame. Alright, well, guess we'll go at it again. Just to try and get the complete. An hour and 40 minutes just to get scammed like that, huh? Just to get scammed. Alright, whatever. Let's go at it again. At least this time we can build everything on wave 1. That's a, you know, tiny bit of a silver lining, I suppose. And I definitely fumbled something somewhere because we have 2 spare DU. Whatever. You know what? I don't care. I'll just place down an extra web wall for fun, I guess. Probably wasn't even that useful, the 2 DU. Let's see. Where are the weak spots? I understand. Might be a... I was gonna say, might be a problem on the left or right there, but it appears to be a problem on every side. There's always some bullshit in these episodes, huh? Can never just be clean, nice, easy. It's always got to have some level of the bullshit. Alright, well, all things considered, what we were doing last time was working perfectly fine. It was just a small error of unlucky. Which, I mean, that could happen literally any wave on either of the two crystals. So, will I be changing or fixing anything? No, because that would require redoing the entire build. Like I said, this is not a good build. It is something that could be confused for a good build, but is most certainly not a good one. Hey, how come there aren't a million enemies? There are supposed to be like 2,000 enemies, but there's only like 1,000 of them. At least the enemies have the same, you know, 1 gajillion HP. That's nice. That was a tower boost. Tower boost is down. Oh, look at that. Not intentional, but I did properly time my tower. My game crashed. But you know what? I'm going to keep my game open just in case. Maybe it does come back. Who knows? Who knows it could come back? Maybe it was just a temporary hiccup. The longer I spend in this map, the less I like it. Yippee! I don't know why I would literally ever want to upgrade reflector beams. I don't know why you can upgrade them. I don't understand why the ability to upgrade them hasn't been removed if all it does is just waste your mana. But yet here we are, with that feature still being in the video game. Alright, same setup as before. This guy, and then you somewhere, I don't know. Oh wait, hold on. You know, if we're going to maximize our chances of not being stupid, maybe I should get the like 10%-ish increase in our stats from equipping the fish in a bowl, shouldn't I? You know, honestly, now that I think about it, one thing you could do to maximize your chance of survival is if you can move this nature pylon, like, over here-ish, it should just about reach these golems and pretty much everything over here. Ooh, I didn't realize those guys were not upgraded. But it should be able to reach these golems and these golems over here, which I think would mean they have, like, way, way less damage taken. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I do remember it being something real high. 2.2. Oh, they have double the resistance? They still die pretty fast, but it would certainly make a difference. I could also hero boost when I'm down on tower boosting. Now that I think about it, that would probably be a big increase, considering with the webs and everything, I think we actually deal a substantial amount of damage. Can I be honest? Given this is like the third attempt, my heart is kind of racing. I want to be done with this. I really want to be done with this. Man, look at that. Woohoo! Yippee! We finished the garbage map. God, that was awful. Oh, yeah. Alright, we got Mythical, Transcend... Oh, we got an Ultimate. Not that good, though. Low on upgrades. I saw, like, a 350 upgrade one not too long ago. And this one's okay. This one is trash. Oh yeah, fun fact. You get these bad boys, which they can cap up to 725 in each of their... Wow. Anyways, they can cap in 725 in each of their individual stats, and their hard cap is at 800. So as you can see, based off of this one, they're pretty nice. These are giraffes on the treadmills. I think you only get these, like, specifically these super powerful ones, you only get these on Ruthless Survival completions. But they're pretty neat. As you saw with that first one, they can roll really nice. But even like this one, which looks fairly mediocre, this would be like kind of okay on a bunch of our characters. Certainly an upgrade. But I will say, the level 100 requirement does kind of put a hamper on things. But either way, I'm just going to lock all of them so I don't have to think about anything. As you can see, we didn't get any weapon rewards because... why would we, I guess? And the armor rewards are complete hot garbage. But yeah, we got the new pets. I guess I'll just keep all of them, why not? Got these new pets. We got the... these guys, I guess. Why do you have 911? I'm keeping you. And we got the giraffes, which we will never use. Sell all, and... oh boy. I don't think I kept that pet. No, I do not think I did. That's funny. Well, the best pet that we got from there, I did, in fact, sell. But just to give you an example of how these pets work, I guess I'll do it on my monk. These guys are nothing amazing. I guess I'll test it on you, because you're a bit better. They're nothing amazing, but they're nothing super terrible either. So they launch a missile that goes into the air, and then it goes back down on the enemy, which is how it does its DPS. As you can see, though, kind of a problem sometimes. when it hits objects. But the damage that it does is fairly okay. 1 mil, decent-ish fire rate, pretty good AoE. So, like, I guess it could replace the harpoons and other things, but we're gonna get Snowman, and Snowman is gonna replace all of these pets completely, I'm pretty sure. Also, this pet only does fire damage, which might be a problem for you, depending on the situation. Oh yeah, fun fact, this entire time, our character was set up for tower boost, or tier boost, instead of tower boost. So, here's our current EV. When we use our beam, 2.95 million per beam. Very nice. But even if we equip this, like, mediocre-ish propeller cat, that's... what is it doing? Minus hero damage, not too much secondary ability, and very low boost intensity. Despite all of that, not bad. Not quite a doubling of our DPS, but very certainly an increase in our DPS. But now I'm going to see if we can get away with doing a little bit of jankiness, starting on wave 23, Sky City, farming for propeller cats. And if this doesn't work out, then we can always just do the same thing on Nightmare, because, fun fact, the propeller cats that you get from this, there's no real differentiation between them being on Nightmare and them being on Insane or whatever difficulty I'm on. They're more or less the same. So, here's going to be the build, if I can get away with it, which I don't really know that I can, but we'll see. We're going to place down over here, just something like that. Reflector, reflectors, and reflector. And then move on to... what character is it? Warden. I'm going to place down basically like just a wall of forest golems on either end here. Something like that. And then same thing over here. And then over in this main section, we're going to put down... should I put down seedlers? Why not? 1, 2, and then a seedler facing this way, and then one facing that way. And that'll do. And the rest of this is just going to be dumped straight into Deadly Strikers, Lightning Towers, and all that business. So we have one Deadly Striker facing just about this direction, one facing this one, and then one facing somewhere up here, and then another one, another one, another one. Good enough. And we have a bit of extra DU left over. I'm not going to spend that on anything, don't feel like it. And then let's... should we do Summoner? I don't know that the extra DPS on Summoner is going to be worth it, to be entirely honest. Instead, I'll just go to EV, and I'll place down some bottom row, or top row buff themes here. And we have a bit of even more DU left over than I thought we did. Huh. Alright, and that should be roughly good enough. Just upgrade the main buff beam stack. And if you want, you can get a apprentice to upgrade everything, but I don't think it should matter. It's only one player difficulty, we have tower boost, we have pretty much everything we could ever want. So I'm imagining it shouldn't be that bad. Maybe. Let's assume that's good enough, call it a day, press G, see how it goes. Obviously the enemies have quite a lot of HP, and the placement of the auras is a bit lackluster. But we'll probably be fine. Even if the ogres do have 130 million HP. As long as they can't DPS down our towers, and we can last long enough, we will be A-okay. And they're going to DPS down our towers. Holy hell. Wait, are you guys reaching? Oh, you are. Huh. That's not good. Alright, a thought has occurred inside the peanut that I call my brain. This buff beam is going to be sold. So we're going to sell that buff beam for a very, very simple reason. We need more defense. So, instead of that buff beam, we're going to place down a web wall there, and then a web wall somewhere down in this general location. Yeah, good enough. Just because that's going to increase our DPS massively, way more than anything else that I can think of. And for the sake of it, let's go on our Summoner. And how should we do this? I know, without thinking. If you want to find a good build for farming cats, go look online. Probably not going to find it from my videos, I'll tell you that right now. I don't really intend on getting like a super sweaty competitive cat. I just want to get something that's good enough and will do the job. Now bring in your extra characters, and for no extra difficulty, watch as you get 4 cats. I love that. I love that so much. It makes me feel good. And the cats are terrible. Okay, so you basically just divide this number by 3. So we're gonna get, what, 70, 80 more boost intensity? It's like 130, and it's got negative ability too. Yeah, we'll definitely be going at this again. But I think we're actually at a pretty good point in terms of waves to justify opening the chests here. I might be wrong on this, but I think we are. We'll see. Oh, we got a Supreme. Alright, given we have Supremes dropping... Oh, that's a... Ooh. Whoa! I didn't even see the tower stats on that. That's really nice. Okay, you know what? That convinced me. I wasn't super sure before, but that has fully convinced me. We are definitely going to be doing this map for the Supreme gear drops. So, let me swap back to you, and let's go again. Get. Okay. Well. So what? If it's every 30, or if it's every 3, divide that by 3, we're looking at 60. So this cat is going to have a boost intensity of 180, which is a pretty high roll. Pretty damn high roll. So this is how I'm going to be leveling the cat. 1, 2, doom. Boost range doesn't matter, by the way, at least in my opinion. Especially if it's going to be a single target cat that you have. Why bother? I should be upgrading hero health. I should have been upgrading the hero proton beam ability too. That's what I should have been upgrading. Now, partially because of the fact that the boost range isn't very high on this cat, and I'm not going to waste any upgrades on the boost range, I'm not going to be putting any effort into upgrading the cat's number of heroes boosted, because that's fairly niche to begin with, and honestly, I don't want to do too much more cat farming, you know? I don't want to put more effort into that than I'd have to. And there we are. Cat is just about finished upgrading. So, let me equip that cat. Actually, let me drop on the ground here. Let's see, what was our DPS with our previous cat? This bad boy right here, with a 103 boost. Mind you, 103 boost, negative damage, but positive ability too. And 4.45. Drop this one, equip the new one. We have 185 boost, so 80 more boost. Roughly the same proton charge, but no negative attack damage. And 5.5 mil. So, like, it's somewhat of like an exponential drop-off, plateau, curve, graph thingamabobber. I'll put an image on screen, I'm pretty sure. But because of that, it's not really worth going for anything too much higher than this. Like, sure, you could get like up to a 230 or something if you're crazy lucky, but for the amount of time it would take, it just is not worth it. At least in my opinion. We might go back here. We probably will go back here for more cats in the future, but for now... Now, before we get into Wintermire Ruthless, I do need to show you guys the current stats, because this will probably matter a lot. But we're going to be using a Warden, 4.8k in that attack. EV, probably a Huntress, definitely a Hermit. Summoner probably won't matter that much. Booster Monk, definitely going to matter a lot. This character doesn't matter, but here is our DPS character, here's the Honey Gun, here's the pet, and then just basic generic resistances and all that maxed out to okay-ish amounts. And then last one is going to be this character. I'll show you why all this matters in the future, but for now, let's get into Wintermire. The build for Wintermire is actually pretty similar to the build that I used back in the day for the Wintermire Redux. Ascension, I think is what the difficulty was called back then, but Ruthless Wintermire is pretty easy, at least with our stats and the build that I'm about to be using. You just place down a slow and weaken aura at each crystal, make sure to touch, not touch, interact, yes, interact with each of the mushroom guys as you pass by for the extra mana. Wave 1, you have so much extra time that doesn't matter, but I want to mention something really quickly. You don't really need the slow auras, or at least I don't think you need them. You definitely need the weaken auras, but I think you can get away without using the slow auras. I've yet to test it, mainly because I'm a big scaredy cat. But all of the like super swag builds that I've seen, they don't use any slow auras at all. So you can probably get away without using them. But here's our last aura stack right there. These aura stacks, they don't need to be like exactly the way that I'm placing them. They can be roughly accurate and you'll be fine. Again, this map is easy enough with the build that I'm about to be using. With the build that I'm about to show you all, and with the stats that we have, that it doesn't really matter. But swap over to your Huntress, and this... Oh, I have missed doing this on Huntress. Oh, I have missed this. I love gas traps. I love placing that gas. It's so fun. It's so fun. I love gas traps. They are the ultimate cheese. This gas trap that I'm placing down right here, keep in mind that one, bad. You need to move it. No matter what, that gas trap has to be moved, because right now it's going to cause a major blockage that's going to suck, and on top of that, it doesn't really defend the crystal that well. But that's it for the gas traps. For this last gas trap at the bottom that I placed, or second to last, make sure you get on a jester that has 0 negative range, and move this gas trap as close as you can to the crystal. The reason for that is because this top crystal and this left side crystal often have enemies aggro to them, especially the left side crystal. So having that gas trap there makes life a lot easier. Next up is going to be the EV. Now, again, this I don't think is super necessary, but a reflector setup like that I think is very, very nice. Again, probably not necessary, but it gives me peace of mind. Next up is a 5DU buff beam like this, a 4DU buff beam like, place it farther back, like that. And then 1DU reflector, that's good enough. And a 1DU reflector, let's place, okay, I'm being too fussy about this. You can place the reflectors kind of however you want. Next, go on to your, this guy, I forget his name. Place down 3 forest golems, making a wall. Just like that, something like that. As long as you can't get through them, the enemies can't get through them. But honestly, the enemies are dumb enough that most of the time it won't even matter either way. What's next? Oh, we don't have any more mana. So I'm going to bring in this character, and then I'm going to bring in the Warden. Oh, by the way, fun fact. For our Warden, you might recognize some of these items. I actually just stole the items straight from our apprentice. Anyways, let's press G. We need to get a little bit of mana so we can build the Warden towers. But the Warden, oh boy, she is powerful. She is ridiculously powerful. So, here we go. Place down 2 mushroom pit towers. 1 lightning cloud tower facing down that way, 1 facing up the other way, and then 1 facing kind of to the left-ish, but also mostly up like that. And then as many wisp towers as you can. And if you did exactly as I did, you'll have a little bit of leftover mana, but that's fine. You can leave on that character or stay if you want. And then upgrade this buff beam as much as you can. You don't really need to tower boost, but if you want to, you can. Just make sure that this buff beam is fully upgraded before you get into the next wave. Now, if you're having a situation like I am, where the enemies are like too far away for your stuff to reach, I guess they're not too far away. You can just knock them into the same range using the chicken baller. It's kind of fun. Oh yeah, by the way, chicken baller, I gave it maximum attack, not attack speed, projectile speed, because I found it was having problems with less than maximum speed. What are you stuck on? Nothing, I guess. Okay, next up is going to be a little bit more Hermit, and then the, what's her name? Summoner, and that's going to be it. So, bring out your Hermit. Place down a Nature Pylon, something like that, whatever. And then go on to your Summoner. Place down a wall of archers in the south side area, as close and tight-knit as you can. Tight-knit, not tight-nicked. Tight-knit kind of sounds like a slur. I hope it's not. But if you enter a situation like this where there's kind of a bit of a gap there, just do that. For the first like few seconds of you placing down archers, or whatever tower on your summoner, they just don't have collision, so you can just kind of get away with stupid stuff like that. But anyways, 3 spider minions, a mage minion. I'm going to be honest, I don't think any of that stuff is necessary. I just do it for fun. And then we're going to go on to... Who should we go on? Let's go on you. So, on our booster, this character, Monk Guardian, very important. This build relies a lot on range. Make sure you upgrade these two top Snare Ores, by the way. But this build is very reliant on range. And because of that, we really want to have a Monk Guardian booster thing. Because otherwise, your Cloud Towers, or pretty much any of your towers, none of them will reach all the way down to where your, whatchamacallit is, your topmost crystal. All the way up to that crystal. None of them will reach that far unless you have the Monk Guardian. And just to give you an idea of how good the Monk Guardian is, I think he like doubles your range just outright. Also, visual clarity, gone. But this is the beauty of the Wisp Tower. Look at this. Genuinely, this reminds me of like some war scene. This is what you'd see in like Afghanistan. The missile silo is beautiful. And that's just the Wisp Tower. And we're going to have more of these Wisp Towers when we're doing the survival, because this Forest Golem wall, I want to be honest, I don't even think it's necessary for the campaign. I just put them there because it makes me feel comfortable. For the survival, we just have one Forest Golem to draw aggro, and that's it. So all the rest of that DU, I mean, you can guess where it gets spent. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not on more auras. But as far as the upgrading goes, you don't really need to upgrade anything, to be honest. Like, it's a good idea to upgrade that topmost aura stack, for sure, because, I mean, it gets beaten down. But I want to be honest. This map's pretty easy. At least for not survival, you'll be fine. You will be perfectly fine. Alright, I think it's like that's a star on either of those auras. That's good enough. So the topmost aura stack always gets beat down a lot, and it kind of sucks. This left side aura stack, it does not take much damage whatsoever. You can kind of just neglect it, and it'll be fine. And the same is true of the bottom aura stack. Like, those two, they don't matter at all. They don't get beat down. Even the middle aura stack, like, it just doesn't, they don't get hit that much, so it doesn't matter. But that topmost aura stack, you need to make sure that thing is upgraded at least to a star, because it will always get beat down. I have like 3k aura HP, and despite all of that, it still gets beat down. Nope, looks like all the main towers are upgraded here. You don't need to worry about this minion wall down here at all. They will literally never get damaged whatsoever. I just realized something. I didn't place down web walls. That'll probably be fine. I'll just mention this. You can sell one of your Wisp Tower thingamabobbers, the thing that's shooting the like blue shots in the sky. You can sell one of those and place down a web wall right here, and another web wall right here if you want. That'll just make killing the bosses a bit easier, but in my experience, it doesn't matter because the bosses are idiots and they just get stuck, so it should be fine. Just make sure these forest golems are fully upgraded, and as long as you're able to keep your tower boost up, then none of the mobs will be able to get close to your crystals, and therefore you'll have a very easy time. Frankly speaking, if you have good enough DPS for, like, I don't know, if you're good at the game, you can really just speedrun this map, and it's really good to do. Just for completing it, you get 2 coal per character, which I think you can quick sell. Like, if you open a shop, you can sell coal for like 60 billion mana a piece. So 8 coal in total, that's like what? 480 mana? I'm so smart. I'm very bad at mental math. But yeah, you can get like 480 mana for that. Or 480 billion mana, sorry, per completion of the map. But even if you're doing something like I am, where you can't trade with people because stupid autistic rules, then you still get 80 billion mana. Or no, 160 billion mana per completion of this map. And again, if you're able to get the map to be like kind of good, and by that I mean if you're kind of good at the video game, it's literally like a 10-minute map. Or less. And also, I mean, like, if you want to, you can make diamonds, but I want to be honest, I don't see a point to diamonds. I don't like them. Oh yeah, here's a little thing about the range, by the way. See this guy right here? He's just barely outside the range of our lightning towers. But in a moment... there it is. Bye-bye. So yeah, a little bit more range is going to make the difference there. But that's why we have the monk booster thing, because it massively boosts the range. Like, it doubles the range. Anyways, that's enough of the apprentice. I'm going to bring in the monk. You don't need to bring in a tower boost monk, at least until the final wave. It doesn't matter. But I'm bringing one in because I'm pretty sure it's going to speed up the waves by quite a bit. Alright, time for the big sweaty boss fight. So, for the boss fight, we are going to be using our EV, but I'm going to be honest, we could probably do it without. The boss fight's really easy. Most of the time, the enemies get stuck like on this crystal, and even if they don't get stuck here, they can't get past this wall of forest comb, so it's whatever. But bring out your DPS EV. Here's mine. Here is the stats. Here's the cat. Here's the weapon. And then bring out. This is optional, but you can bring out the same, what's we call it, character that I did earlier, the Guardian Summoner. If you care about the rewards, just know that there isn't any reward that you get for staffs, I'm pretty sure. But other than that, I'm just going to be bringing out whatever character as my last one. Sure, why not? I guess this will technically boost the DPS of my Warden Towers. Anyways, that's good enough. I'm just going to place her like back here, you back here, and then you somewhere back here. And fun fact, let me show you guys. Oh my god, leave me alone. Oh wow, look at that. Did you see what I did there? I accidentally removed all of our extra heroes. Whoops. I meant to, why is the button to remove all the extra heroes right next to the button to hide/show the extra screens? I've actually already done this once. But as you can see by the rewards, I didn't do it with multiple characters. Anyways, for the EV beam, here's how it works. You press 3, you press M to drop all your mana. And the way that the EV beam works is that the more mana that you drop it, the longer it lasts. Not like the more powerful it is, it just lasts longer. That's it. Anyways, get that buff beam, not buff beam, tower boost going, and then run around and pick up as much mana as you can. You can try shooting things and killing them, but I'm gonna be honest. The only good DPS we have on our EV is as burst DPS, and I don't want to waste my EV beam on anything that isn't the bosses. But either way, just run around, get your mana filled, get your extra mana filled, and then once all that's done, if you want, you can just go, shoot stuff. But I'm just going to go over here, sit on the crystal, or sit on the tower stack, and just wait for everything to finish. Alright, now that we're down to the last couple of enemies, I'm going to go over here and very quickly upgrade this stack of auras a little bit, because auras are important. Staff the tower boost because I don't want to run out. And then make sure that this aura stack is topped off. Probably won't matter, but just in case it does, right? And then the bottom aura stack, oh my ears. Bottom aura stack is perfectly fine. I'm going to wait for my cooldown to be good. Be good again, and then we're going to go straight for the boss time. So, alright. Buffs are back up. Press V to skip the timer. And then 2, 3. There we go. We got hero boost and tower boost going at the same time. Press 3, and resume. Now, this is one of the 3 bosses, and as you can see, we are melting through it very, very, very efficiently. And then next up is going to be the Barbarian, unless he's also stuck somewhere. He is also stuck somewhere, but same as the previous one, just obliterate the Barbarian. We're going to have a Proton Charge because mana, or time, I guess, but that's fine. Every once in a while, these guys will pop in, but they actually get dealt with pretty easily by our aura stack thing with bobbers, so it's not that bad. Anyways, drop the mana, and then where is the Barbarian? Seriously, where is the Barbarian? Oh, it's already dead. I guess we just killed the boss. This Spider Queen, she will web you. Just keep that in mind. It will happen, as you can see. It's kind of annoying, but it's not that big of a deal. She can't really destroy anything. So the most that she can do is, like, maybe if she somehow gets past her tower, she might web your main stack of whatevers. But that's probably not going to happen. Anyways, our buff beams, our not buff beams, our whatchamacallits went down. I refreshed it. Press M, and let's go again. And I think we can hit it through the wall, yeah. So those guys in the front are tanking the shots, meaning that we're not getting hit. And look at that, we're done. A bit of an audio clusterfuck, but pretty easy. And a hell of a lot of coal as well. So most of the time, like I said, the Barbarian or Squire or both will get stuck around this crystal, around here. There's a lot of spots. And the Spider Queen a lot of time will get stuck here, but no matter what, even if they don't get stuck, it's a pretty easy time. And look at that, we have 10 coal, although normally you'd have 8. Anyways, pet rewards can be pretty neat. I think these guys are actually pretty cool, so I'm not going to keep you. You don't have enough upgrades. The weapon rewards, I don't think they're good weapons, but they can be good stat sticks, so maybe worth checking out. Looks like we got 2 Winter Flames, and are you better than what we currently have? Nope. Okay. And then as far as the rest of it goes, you can get some really, really good accessories here. So for sure, worth checking out. But most of the time, you're going to end up with somewhat mediocre trash. But as you can see, you get this accessory, the head accessory, and the face accessory. So basically, you can get all three accessory types here, meaning that this map is worth it to farm for pretty much everything. Like I said, the coal, you can insta-sell the coal for 60 billion if you open up a shop. The coal also sells in the forge. Oh, hold on, I can just show you guys this directly. In your tavern, there's a little like diamond thing over here on the left. Where is it? Right here. And if you interact with it, you can sell each coal for 20 billion mana. Now, given that I don't want to craft diamonds because they take 88 coal, and that's a lot of effort, I'm just going to convert all of our coal into diamonds. I don't care. Or into mana. Just keep in mind, if you're not doing the same stupid rule set of solo only, no trading that I am, you can sell the coal for at least triple the price very, very quickly. Just open a hero shop and you'll be fine. But despite everything that I just said, I have 240 billion mana. So, personally, I'm happy. That map, how long did it take? 13 minutes. So, 14 minutes, 160 billion mana, pretty damn good. Let me see if there was anything actually worth keeping, because I didn't sell everything, did I? Bad candy cane. Bad candy cane. It's a shame. And then bad and bad. I think these can actually be pretty good, but I don't care. So, no accessories, no nothing. Damn shame. we kept nothing. But now, and by now I mean tomorrow, because it's 4 a.m., time for the survival. I'm going to do a very quick Wave 23 start, maybe 1 or 2 times, but at least once, for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm using a new build, and I want to properly show it to you guys. Second of all, I need some downtime. I'll explain that in a second. And third, I need to level some characters. So yeah, this is a nice 3-in-1 solution for me. Let me explain the first one. The build, I just found out that I could just do a much more efficient build, and it's one that doesn't have as many range problems, because even if enemies get stuck all the way back here, it won't matter. It also means that I also have to do less effort, because I don't have to move this gas trap. So this gas trap, same as always, don't have to worry about it. But the gas trap over here, normally I moved it back, but at least with my pitiful range, this gas trap is perfectly fine where it is. By the way, here is my stats, just in case I haven't shown it. That gas trap is perfectly fine where it is, because we're going to be moving forward all of our towers to like right behind that crystal over there. But other than that, the gas trap positions are all the exact same. The only difference comes in the EV and the other tower placements. So EV wise, we're still doing the same double reflector right here, something like that, something like that. There we go. And then here's the difference. We're placing a reflector here, 1 DU, a buff beam as close to the crystal as we can, 4 DU, and then a reflector back here, which doesn't really do anything but makes me feel comfortable. Then we go on to the Hermit. And as far as the Hermit goes, you're going to place down a Nature Pylon and a Forest Golem, something like that. I don't know if the Forest Golem does anything, but it's nice security. A web wall back here. This web wall, big time USA value. That one actually matters a lot now. And then go on to our Warden. On the Warden, it's still roughly the same setup, but a little bit of different angles, sort of, for our towers. But 2 Shroom Pits, same as before. And then let me get some more mana. We're going to have a Cloud Tower facing straight backwards, one facing down to the left-ish, one facing down to the right-ish, one facing straight right, but a little bit down as well, something like this. And then just the rest of it is Wisp Ends. There we go. And then that's literally the entire build. After this point, all you got to do is you bring in your Initiate for leveling the towers, and then bring in a Summoner with Ranger, Monk, and Huntress, and then bring in another Summoner that has Apprentice and Monk. And that's pretty much everything you need to do. God, I'm going to have to lower the volume here. And then for the first little bit, I'm going to add in just 1 extra character to level, which I'm going to make you get to be the winner. But once I'm finished leveling all these towers, I'm going to swap out my Initiate for a, what is it called? The Warden? No, our Hermit. But I found, having done this a couple of times, you really do not have to worry about like anything. It is far easier than I thought it was. Let me hide the other screens. The enemies just kind of die. they just kind of die. This aura stack, it does sometimes get low, but like not that much, not really. So you can kind of just be fine with whatever, to be honest. Hell, I bet you could even go without upgrading that stack of towers, stack of auras, like whatsoever, and you'd still be fine. Like it's a little bit ridiculous just how easy this map is with a warden and the right build. But either way, gonna upgrade this last set of towers. I don't upgrade any of these towers past the first little bit here that I do with Apprentice. Or I don't upgrade anything except for the main stack, I should say, past the little bit that I do here, because it just doesn't need it. But start the wave. What I like to do is I like to shoot right here, something around there, because I find that this is the perfect sweet spot to just gather a gajillion mana, and you should be finished upgrading everything within just about one round. But I would recommend, given that we're not using our initiate for anything else, put a bit of armor on her, some form of armor, because she will get one-shot by the Ogre Spitballs otherwise. Oh yeah, I don't know if I explained this. The downtime thing. I need some downtime. The runs that we were doing previously, level 32, wave 32 start, they're really nice, they're really efficient, but the problem is, it's only like 4-ish waves where I can completely AFK and focus on other things. And I need a little bit more than that, because right now I am editing the video, and I am making more video to edit than I am editing, if that makes any sense. Basically, I need more time to be able to edit the video, and all I'm doing is making more video to edit. So by starting on wave 23 for at least like 2-ish runs, I'm hoping I can get a good chunk of the editing done, and also I can knock out a bit of XP grinding at the same time. And it'll be a bit nicer for me because I don't have to spend as much active time opening the chest, because I'm not doing this as an armor farm either. I mean, I'll still check in, because, you know, if there is armor, why not? But other than the basic, like, you know, holding shift and maybe repairing some towers here and there, and towers, I mean auras, it'll just be fairly AFK business. Anyways, that's the round. That's the first round just about finished. And we're not completely done upgrading the towers here, but we're just about there. I think the only things that are left are like fully 3-starring towers. If you were a little bit more efficient with your... there we go. If you were a bit more efficient with your shots, you wouldn't have to do that, but I was not. Now let me bring in my Hermit. Sadly, neither the Hermit nor the Warden can get the really nice 1.3 times XP multiplier by using a DPS pet, because maybe the Warden can, but the Hermit, or not the Hermit, no, maybe the Hermit can, but the Warden very much so cannot, because her towers are damaging things, so you are not going to get that 1.3 times hero damage only thingamabobber. Anyways, I'm going to just sit here, Control G, and make sure... Oh, I already have all 4 characters in. I'm just going to AFK, basically, and continue editing the video. But yeah, that's the new build. That's the new strategy. I don't know that this can make it through wave 35 without the extra stack of Apprentice and Huntress Guardian Summoner, but yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Very quickly, before I get into Wintermire Survival, I am going to be upgrading all of my accessories, and look at the mana cost here. Boom. 18 billion mana gone. I'm upgrading damage and then range as a secondary for most of these. For the ones that don't have any range, I'm just going to upgrade rate. And then for stuff like this, where it's an item that I'm not going to keep for very long, I just want range. Range is very important. If you have like 4K range or some crazy number like that, you'll be fine. But if you have like 2.8 to 3K range, you're definitely going to want a bit more. But anyways, survival, this map Wintermire, is actually pretty much the same build as it was in campaign, with one minor exception. That being, instead of a wall of golems here, we're just going to use one golem in the middle, next to the stack, or I guess on top of the stack of, whatever they're called, the Warden Towers, yes. And then, other than that, we're just replacing the golems with a wall of minions. Now, you can do whatever minion you want, but me personally, I prefer the orcs because they're big, chunky, and they're blue. But honestly, like, you don't need them. If you have the stats that I do, you don't need the orcs or any kind of minion walls, to be honest. The enemies, they don't get very far. So, like, sure, it's nice to have it as security, but if you want to, like, speed run this in the future, you can just ditch the orc wall, and you'll be perfectly fine. I guess if you're starting on wave 32, that might be a little bit much, but, I mean, As long as you're tower boosting, which you should be if you're doing wave 32 starts, then you'll be fine. But yeah, I just wanted to say that the orcs, the minion wall that I'm about to do, not necessary at all. Now, first wave on the survival, like we can't build everything just because, you know, we don't have all the mana, but later on, you can build everything. So what I'm gonna do is once I've placed everything on the, oh my god, that is so far. Once I placed everything on the first wave, I'm just gonna skip forward to the next wave, and then continue the building there because I want to show you guys the whole build in its entirety. But for the most part right now, it's actually pretty much the same as it was before, except for some reason I am missing a lot of mana. I definitely did not touch... I did not interact with... Oh, look at that. One of these shroomites. There we go. Okay, now on the EV. So, a little bit of a difference between the campaign and... Another one of the differences, I should say, between the campaign and the survival is for the EV, I'm actually going to place my wall of... not wall, my stack of towers somewhere like this. Honestly, I'm just going to place them pretty far forward. That's good enough. And then I'm going to place a reflector wall here and a reflector wall here. Neither of which do I think will actually have any value or meaning, but it makes me feel good to have them there. Then I'm going to go onto the Hermit, and we're going to place down a 2DU cobweb wall, something like that. You can actually place this one a bit farther if you want, but I'm just going to keep it there for now. And then another 2DU, oh, I hate the EV beams, wall right here-ish, something like that. Those are just going to massively increase the DPS for any ogres that may get past these points. I will say I've never seen an ogre get past this point, so that shouldn't be an issue, but plenty of times ogres do get pretty far over here just because there's, you know, less DPS. But either way, after that, we're placing down a nature pylon. Shroom sport. I don't know that this is actually useful, to be honest. Screw it. How much does it even cost? 70? Nah, okay, we're going to skip this the shroom tower. But it's going to be a basic nature pylon, golem. I don't have my tower stacking hotkey script going. And then swap on to the warden, bring in our monk. And is there anything that I'm missing? No, we have all the walls. Yeah, we'll be fine. On the warden, just going to keep her out the entire time. Place down a cloud tower and a wisp den. And then a spore pit, shroom pit. I'm going to start out with... Oh, I don't have... I always forget to enable the tower stacking hotkey script. Anyways, I'm going to start out with a wisp den, because I actually misclicked. And then a cloud tower facing straight forward. A cloud tower facing straight forward, but a little bit to the left. Well, roughly straight forward. And then a cloud tower facing straight back. And that'll deal with most everything. And I'm not going to do any building until we get into the actual, like, real deal parts of the map, which is next wave. Now then, as for the rest of the buildings, 2 mushroom pits, which I don't really know if they do anything, but they make me feel good. We have 3 lightning towers, right? Yeah, okay. After the lightning towers, I think you can actually just spam wisp dens. And I am going to place 1 more cloud tower facing straight forward, and then 1 more wisp den, and there we go. We're perfectly maxed out on our DU. Now let's go on to our summoner. And because that last round took so long, I actually have a bajillion mana over here, so we'll be able to place everything relatively easily. So, over here in the front, place down... I gotta get the hotkey done for this, but just a wall of orcs. Just a very basic wall of orcs. Or archers, or whatever, honestly. I'm just doing orcs because they're the nice compromise between ogres and archers, where they do a good amount of blocking, and more importantly, they don't cost a bajillion DU, so, you know, they're okay. Yeah, that's probably good enough. And then a wall of orcs back here. And then spider, 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 mage, mage. And then 2 more mages, and that's it. You can do more mages if you want, like 1 more back here or whatever, but I'm just gonna, you know, poop down 2 archers here. Well, not there, actually, because they might take the guardian boosts. I'll just place down 2 archers wherever. But there you go. Completely maxed out on DU, MU. That's the whole build. Now, just go ahead and swap to your... what character? You, yes. Guardian Summoner. Make sure, again, you have a Monk Boost Summoner, and then an Apprentice, I think, is less damage, so make sure you have a Guardian. I think an Apprentice is worse, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure. And then the only time you need to care about stuff is on Wave 25, because that's when you get the Snowmen. Wave 25, 30, and 35. But until then, you can just upgrade everything and kind of go AFK. I would definitely recommend before anything else you upgrade this stack of auras because they will get destroyed. The gas traps, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think you need to upgrade the gas traps or repair them for the entire game. They just like they'll never ever go down, so it won't matter. But if you have like a funky range setup, you might want to move this gas trap a little bit farther back on your jester, because if there's like a lightning resistant character tower thing here, it might just kind of ruin your day. But I think with the amount of range that we have, using a monk guardian as well, we should be fine. And by ruin your day, I mean it'll just take forever to die. But anyways, you're gonna be placing down your guardians just directly on top of your towers here, and then bring in a leveling tower leveling, yes, tower leveling initiate, and Control G. Find a nice spot to aim, start your tower boost, and I'm gonna be back with you guys on wave 25. Look at that! There's actually an ultimate piece of gear on the ground over here, and it is Stability 1. Yet again. I guess starting wave like 20, probably wave 21, honestly. This map might be worthwhile to like go open the chests on, considering I'm pretty sure like every map on Ruthless, at least for the survival, past a certain point they all become the same as Infested, at least in terms of the loot quality. And then after that point, like the only difference between this map and Infested just comes down to the enemy quality, which if you don't know, different enemies have different like qualities for the gear that they drop. So basically, like I think mages and dark elf warriors are like the goats, and like right behind them are like the little infested bugs, whatever they're called, the wasps. Are they wasps? Whatever they are, the bugs on infested, they're really high quality. So are mages and stuff like that. So other than that, other than the lack of bugs on this map, I'm pretty sure this map has roughly the same quality as infested. So I guess starting wave 21, probably worth it to go open chests and look at the loot. Oh yeah, also, that top stack of auras, since we've been going at it with these two Guardian Summoners, I haven't had to do literally any kind of repairing for like 6 rounds in a row. It's crazy. And there we go. Let me bring in the extra characters, just so we can get 4 snowmen. Really good farm for snowmen. Really, really nice, quick farm. Anyways, let's see what the snowmen we got are. I'm hoping for whatever, honestly. I don't think we're going to use these pets, so I don't really care. Wow, that's a lot of upgrades. Okay, well, you're being kept. That is not a lot of upgrades. And you're ultimate, so you're not being kept. Not a lot of upgrades and not a lot of upgrades. I might just keep this one, because it's, I don't know, might be good for farming XP. Same with this one, honestly. Most of our characters level 83 by now, so why not, right? But, other than this snowman, pretty alright. It's pretty alright. Pretty surprised we got this one. I'm not going to be farming snowmen, because as good as they are as DPS pets, we don't need that. Instead, I'm going to bring in my other summoner because I forgot I shouldn't have left with him. And then I'm going to open all the chests, and I'll see you guys back on wave 30, which is when we get another pet. Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a moment. Did I get an ultimate plus from that chest and just not notice it at all? I did. Whoops. You are... like, oh! That is a really good DPS piece. Wow, that can go either way, too. That's... nice. Very, very nice. Okay. Well, look at that. Well, I've been convinced. I mean, I was already going to open the chest, but now I'm definitely going to open every single chest. Hell yeah, let's go. Oh my god. You know what? I'm including you just for that. That is the worst piece of gear I've ever seen. All right, on final wave, or second final wave 30, we finally get more pets. Very cool. Oh, my ears. Jesus. Now, I've heard that these pets, the elephants, that they're actually, like, kind of good for assault maps or something, because I think they heal you whenever they hit enemies. Something along those lines. But I'm going to be honest, I don't care. I'm not going to keep them. Unless they're ultimate, I'm not going to keep, like, any individual pet that I don't have much interest in. Also, they're probably not worth keeping unless they are ultimate anyways. Time for the final wave. So here's the setup. We have a booster monk going to be sitting in the middle, the same 2 summoners we had before, and then a jester for the Wheel of Fortuna Tuna. And as for a pet, I'm just using the snowman because he's cool. But we're not actually going to be DPSing on this hero. We're just going to be using her for the ability. So yeah, To do, get selected this character, Control G, start shooting the chickens, tower boost, hide the other screens, and then go. This should actually be a very, very fast run because, let's see, 6 million DPS on each of our towers. So, yeah, this shouldn't take very long at all. Even with the what's gonna call it? How much HP do you guys have? How much health? Where's the ogre? Here we are. Even with the 200 million HP ogres, first of all, we can just do this and have that number. So boom. Second of all, 6 million damage per tower, and there's like a couple of towers. It's not gonna last very long. Honestly, I don't even think the Jester is necessary here. The reason I'm not bringing in like a specific character for a specific weapon reward is because, one, I don't remember if you actually get a specific weapon reward for finishing the map, and two, more importantly, doesn't matter. I don't really care about the rewards that much right now, at least for the weapons. There are definitely better maps to farm for the weapon rewards, and I mean the gear we have right now for the weapons isn't that good, but it's good enough. But as you can see, tower boost is just now went down, and there's only ogres left, so the map is finished. The survival for this map is incredibly easy. I fumbled. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty nice. And as you saw earlier, apparently a pretty good armor farm. And as you can see by the bottom right of my screen, decent XP farm if you wanted to use it that way. Definitely for like the earlier waves, a decent XP farm. But I don't really care about the snowman or the elephant, so I'm going to be farming this map just for the turkeys. And last two ogres right here. There we are. Unfortunately, you do not, in fact, get any coal for finishing the map. Oof. But you do get... Here we are. You do get a bunch of turkeys, so that's pretty neat. And apparently we got a genie. Wow, you are horrible. Anyways, turkeys can roll. This one is terrible. Really well. And it looks like none of ours rolled well at all. In fact, I don't think any of these are better than what we already have, which is a bit of a disappointment. I'll go check out the weapons really quickly. Oh, nope, I was right. You, in fact, do not get any hero-specific weapon rewards. I saw like a peppermint shield here earlier. What was the deal with that? Anyways, armor, didn't get anything crazy. We do get the accessories, though. And although this time... That's weird. Why did we get an extra item? Although we didn't get any crazy accessories... nothing big. You can see, like, if these were positive, they'd be good. And same thing here, like if we just had positive hero damage, or tower damage, these would be good. So yeah, I'm going to be running this a couple more times, maybe 2-3 more times, starting on wave 32. I'll see, I don't know if wave 32 is going to be a rough start, so we'll have to figure it out, but given that none of these turkeys are like remotely good, I'm just going to sell them, and we'll go again. Oh. Why not, I guess. I mean, there are reasons why not, but I can't just leave an ultimate plus piece on the ground. Come on. That just feels wrong. Neat. Let's go open this and see if we got anything good. Probably not. I think most of them are cursed, but maybe. Turkeys. Terrible. Depressing. Wow. Low damage. This could replace one for our EV. There we go. This replaces one for our Huntress, or our Oral Monk, not our Huntress. Wait, is that it? Oh, these. Oh, right. Guardians, no good Guardians. We do need a few more, probably. Armor-wise, nothing, probably. Are you good? Accessories, right. Depressing. Pretty depressing. Bad. And also bad. Damn, that's a shame. Yeah, I probably will add a accessory farm to the end of this video. I already know a map I want to do it on as well, so it should be fine. Anyways, sell all. We got 2 new turkeys. Let me actually equip one of these turkeys on a character just to show you guys how awesome this is. Goodbye, old fish in a bowl. Oh, we're gonna be losing a lot of rate from this. It's okay. Rate probably doesn't matter. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, better than our current pet in every way. And you can upgrade any of the given stats up to, I think, 700 or 5 maybe, and they can max out at 750. I'm pretty sure. But look at this. We are fast. Hell yeah. This is going to make life a hell of a lot easier just in general, especially on campaigns for maps. And we can get even more speed boost than this if we decided to get a speed boost weapon. But for now, I mean, call me crazy, but I think this is enough. Gargle, gargle. Bad. That's okay for the summoner. I think this is okay-ish. And oh my lord, absolute cinema. Okay. I guess you can only upgrade to 700. Either way, soft cap, quad cap, not so bad. Guess who's getting that pet? Oh, right. She's not level 93 yet, is she, huh? I have 2 turkeys equipped on the summoner, so we can just... And there's an ultimate plus, or there's an ultimate plus on the map to go find. But first, I want to open all these chests. Oh. Whoa, okay, nice. A lot of pristine items that are pretty good. Another plate. And it's okay. It's probably pretty good. Oh yeah, I've also stopped bothering to move this trap because it doesn't matter. But look at this. Look at how fucking speedy we are with our summoner, as long as we don't hit anything. Unfortunately, unless you can slide by a chest like I did just there, you will lose pretty much all your momentum every time you get a chest. But with the exception of that, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Loot. Oh my god. One of those accessories was Supreme. Also, there is only one Supreme drop from the final wave. What are you? Terrible. Alright. We don't care about these. Let's see. In theory, this could be good. Oh, yeah. Okay, 700 next. You are... Aura Monk, maybe. Horrible. And... hot garbage yet again. Okay, well, mostly garbage there. A little bit disappointing, but kind of to be expected. Let's start with the bottom left. You are a good ability 2-piece. Oh, I just realized we could get, that's a hermit item. A hermit can equip that. It's cool. You are depressing. I guess this could be an ability 1-piece, but eh. Terrible. This is definitely a ability 1 item. And then you depress me. Man, that's a shame. I'd really love to get some good accessories, but just not happening right now. Not at all. Yippee! No items, though. Alright, you suck. Actually, I think we want one of these in the future, and that is a Supreme Animus? That's weird. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, well, I guess I'll lock you. Let's see. You're from before. Alright, new turkey. That low range really does hurt a lot on these. You're terrible. You are terrible. You are horrible. So, we kept none of the turkeys, none of the accessories. We kept this pet. That's it. I forgot to record that one, but we finished another map. Let's see the turkeys. You are... At least at the very least, this is going to be an upgrade for one of our aura monks, so you're okay. You are depressing. You are another upgrade for one of our aura monks, but otherwise mediocre. And you are actually like kind of awesome. Hello, sweet. And I don't think we got any armors. Oh, accessories, right? Terrible. We already had that one. Terrible, terrible, and terrible. Some might argue you shouldn't look at any of the accessories unless they're supreme or above, because technically you can get ultimate ones. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be looking at every single accessory no matter what. I love gambling. But yeah, 2 turkeys, 1 fairly mediocre, or is that 3 turkeys? It might be 3 turkeys. We got a good turkey, 2 good turkeys-ish. So that's nice. Major moment for one of our characters, but we finally have our first level 100 character. And don't worry about this experience. Level 100 is the max, but they can now wear... Look at this. They can wear the ultimate plus pluses. Sick. Anyways, that's it. You could be good. Could be good. I don't think it will be, but it's got decent size stats. It's worth considering. Another completed map. We have one Supreme over here. It is terrible. That's depressing. And then an ultimate. A lot of plate ultimates and ultimate plus pluses for some reason. It could be an okay DPS piece. Potentially. Just potentially. Alright, let's see what's going on in here. No pets that we can... Ooh, Negative tier HP. I don't know about that one. Let's see how the turkeys are. You suck. Terrible. Terrible. And... Oh, actually, it's not the #1 best, but this is a good swap out. Or if it's like either the Warden or the Apprentice. Either of those characters can use this. So that's pretty okay. And the accessories... Did I see... Okay, I thought I saw an ultimate accessory for a second. Now, those are crazy rare, by the way. If you get an ultimate accessory, they're like, oh, commodity, big time commodity. Okay. This will probably replace whatever our Warden has with this. Not too bad. The first time that we got an actually decent accessory. Let's see. Pets. Nothing good. Turkeys. Hopefully something. Terrible. Terrible. Hot garbage. And disappointing. It's disappointing, but this is definitely an upgrade over whatever the hell our EV is currently running. So, probably good. But yeah, otherwise, just nothing too good. Alright, let's see if these snowmen are worth keeping or not. One new ultimate, oh, nasty. One new ult, oh, negative hero damage, that's also, and never, negative hero HP, negative tower damage, or hero damage, that's just bad. And I'm honestly, I might just keep, wait, no, that's from before. Okay, literally no worthwhile snowmen, that's depressing. So, while I was upgrading / repairing these towers over here, I noticed something. There's an ultimate on the ground here. And when you look at it, it's an ultimate plus cardboard tube that is in every way better than our chicken baller. It is, in fact, a pretty alright ultimate plus because I'm pretty sure it's going to go above the 600 or so. Are you good as well? 600 or so tower range that you can normally get. I haven't been opening chests, I just noticed that. And that's interesting. This could be a really good piece for... I'm literally just going to use this on the Warden. I don't think our Warden has anything good right now, right? Yeah, so... Cool. New item for our Warden, I guess. Or our Hermit. Either way, that's cool. By the way, you can use the cardboard tube because it doesn't have any kind of a level requirement past like level 60, even if it is Ultimate plus plus. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but Ultimate plus piece of gear has dropped. I don't think that's useful for literally anything except for the hero guardian character, and I don't have that unlocked. Cool nonetheless, though. Also, we have elephants, which is why I started recording. They are stupid little elephants. But that's cool, though. We got an ultimate plus piece of gear. Here's a quick show of the stats before we move on to Crystal Cave. We have turkeys on pretty much all of the characters, or at least all the characters that can actually use them. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of these characters I'm not putting much thought into because the Crystal Cave build that I have is pretty good. It's one that I made pretty much entirely by myself, by a lot of trial and error. So Crystal Cave doesn't give you a lot of time to build. So if you don't have a turkey, you're probably going to, like, no matter what, you'll need some form of a speed boost pet or item. I have found that you can do this same build with a 1.1 times speed multiplier. It's just a little bit janky. It's a bit more troublesome. But as for the first thing that you do, as always, you just place a stack of auras, slow and weaken, just in the middle. Then I'm going to go on to the Huntress. I'm going to place down gas traps at each of the 4 main entrances, roughly on top of the main entrances. These gas traps, as always, you can tell I made the build because of the gas traps. Then go onto your EV. We're going to be placing down a buff beam here, something along the lines of this. Make sure it's 4 DU. Although, actually, that one could be 5 DU now that I think about it. But then go onto your Hermit. We're going to be placing down a Nature Pylon and a Forest Golem. And then at each of these entrances, place down a 2 DU web wall, place down the web walls in a smart position, something like what I'm doing. Basically, just place them down in such a way that whenever ogres are coming in, they're going to be targeting the main stack of towers that you're about to place. And just make sure that they're going to target the main stack that contain, or they're going to go through the web wall while they're going to the main stack. Bring in your tower booster character. Then up here, we're going to be placing down one cloud tower facing the crystal, and then a bunch of wisp dens. And then I'm going to go onto this island over here just for safety. Control G. For the first round, you want to upgrade your, whatchamacallit, to completely max. You can tower boost if you want, but it's not necessary. But just upgrade the buff beam to max, and you will be relatively okay. Now, the buff, oh, I didn't show this character, did I? Whoops. The tower boost is very, very nice, but I think in its place, you could probably get away fairly comfortably by using a very simple monk, or not monk, a summoner with a monk and a huntress slash apprentice guardian. Slash probably just a huntress apprentice guardian, now that I think about it. The range isn't really that necessary for these first little parts of the wave. But as you can see, all the ogres are dead, all the major enemies are dead, and all that's left are the chump mobs. Now, here's a part of the build that I like. You see this guy? He's not being reached by the wisp towers. And you'll pretty much always have a situation like this, especially if you move your gas traps farther forward up. And if you do that, then harbingers or ogres or whatever mobs that are kind of annoying to deal with, they can't get very far. And the most important part about them not being able to get far is that they'll just be stuck there, meaning that your towers don't actually have to deal with the ogres, are not all at once, basically. So it's just a way to have an easier time with the build. Anyways, let's go back onto the island. We're going to place down just the rest of them as wisp towers. Just one more wisp tower, apparently. Didn't even need that many. Then we're going to swap onto our Lenny Summoner. So, this guy, another classic of mine. If you see minions, it probably means that it's a low-end build, and this is an example of that, because we're placing down a wall of archers, and then mages. So every 3 or so archers, we're going to place down a mage. So 1, 2, 3. Make sure this is very tight-knit, just like this. And then another 1, 2, 3. And then I'll place a mage and then an archer back here. Something like that. And then just for the fun of it, a spider in the middle. And that's it. The wall doesn't have to be super accurate to what I did. As long as it's roughly accurate-ish, you'll be fine. Now, for the rest of this, there's a few options that you can do, but what I personally like to do is, wrong character, I like going onto my initiate to upgrade towers, because it's, I don't know that it's necessary, but it certainly helps. And then I just bring out the tower boost monk, and if you wanted to, you could bring out other characters to XP level, just place them on this island with like a monkey pet, and you'll be fine. But for the moment, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to place this guy up here, and then also because my apprentice has horrible stats, I'm going to also place her up here. Control G, have this guy start shooting, swap back to the main screen, and then you can actually, if you shoot far back enough here, you can just farm enemies for mana super efficiently, and it's pretty damn nice. But yeah, ogres will die pretty far before they get to your main stack of towers, and even if they do get there, it shouldn't matter most of the time, because they're not going to hit the crystal. They'll be like dead. You know, they'll die right after going into the spider webs. The moment that they go through a spider web, they take like double damage for everything, and then it's over. After that point, it is completely over. Anyways, I jumped down because I'm an idiot, but you always want to make sure you're on top of the stack of towers until they're upgraded, because as much as everything else matters, I'm going to be honest, nothing matters nearly as much as your stack of as a stack of DPS towers. But there's actually not that many of them, so upgrading them doesn't even take that long. Anyways, so there's 2 reasons we're doing Crystal Cave. The first reason is, I guess, completion, but the real reason that we're doing this, the first real reason that we're doing this, is because we unlock an XP farm here. From what I've heard, the best XP farm in the game. And me personally, I like the sound of that. So, XP farm. Number 2, I've heard the pets from here are pretty good, so I'd like to get the pets. And number 3, apparently you get one of the best in slot, what are they called? Best in slot mage weapons / jester weapons from this map. So yeah, 3 reasons for us to do this map, all of them fairly good reasons. I am being inefficient with my upgrading because I am scared of an ogre spitball. If you're doing this, you should probably just give your apprentice or initiate Just give her some kind of resistant gear instead of having her still be your tower initiate. But I'm just being stupid and lazy, so, you know, do as I say, not as I do. That whole shebang. Anyways, looks like everything here is upgraded. Now let's move on to the lower area. As long as you get your, what is it called? Your nature pylon upgraded, you will be big time chilling, because the nature pylon is, like, by far out of everything, is what matters the most. Well, other than the main DPS towers, that is. Because the nature pylon just means that your towers at the bottom, your mages and your archers, they can just tank everything. And they don't need to be crazy upgraded as long as your pylon is upgraded. But either way, you do want to make sure that, I mean, obviously, just all your towers are upgraded. The more upgraded they are, the better. Anyways, I'm just going to skip forward until the final wave, and I'll show you guys the setup that we have for heroes on that final wave. And when you're finished upgrading, just move on to a summoner. I would recommend having one summoner with a monk guardian, but then after that, it's apprentice / huntress guardians. Just make sure that when you're placing these guys, place them on this safety island, and you can actually go pretty far out. Just make sure they're placed fairly far to the left so that they're boosting this main stack of towers rather than boosting this set of minions. But yeah, back to you guys on the final wave. Now that we're on the final wave, I'm going to leave on that character because my main character is going to be the Tower Boost Monk. This might sound a little strange to you, but we're actually not going to DPS down, or play or DPS down the bosses whatsoever on this map. Instead, we're relying entirely on tower DPS, which is also why I'm going to bring in this guy who has both a Huntress and an Apprentice Guardian. Because if all we care about is damage and the bosses are going to be like right next to us anyways, then I don't think range should matter that much. Now then, on top of that character, I'm also going to be bringing in... where is it? I'm also going to be bringing in our apprentice here. The reason I'm bringing her in is for a very simple reason. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll give her like a monkey or something. But I'm bringing her in because I actually do kind of want... what is it called? I'm bringing her in because I want the staff reward from this, because, like I said, it's one of the best staff rewards in the game. And then I'm bringing another staff character in here because I don't think we're going to get very lucky with that staff reward. So I'd rather have two characters to make sure that we get something useful. Oh yeah, I didn't explain this earlier. The reason that we have 7 wisp dens and only 1 cloud tower facing the crystal is because the wisp dens, I'll see if I can show it to you guys at some point, but they have a very big problem with the wyverns, which is, if you see over there, they're just circling underneath the wyvern instead of hitting it. I don't exactly know what causes that, but I know that it is a thing that happens and that it sucks. So to avoid that problem, you know, we just add 1 cloud tower. And sure, every once in a while, a wyvern will have electric resistance, but most of the time they don't, so most of the time they get dealt with quickly. And we don't need to kill, like, every single wyvern, like public enemy number 1. We just need to kill most of the wyverns. As long as there aren't, like, a bajillion wyverns going to the core crystal, we're fine. Like I said, this build is something that I cobbled together from watching other people and trying their builds out. And when I noticed that, sure, I could deal with a lot of the normal mobs, but 1, the ogres would take a while to die. 2, when the bosses came in, everything went to shit, because sure, my towers could maybe survive, but at the end of the day, this crystal just kept getting overrun by basic trash mobs. So that's why the gas traps are there, that's why the web walls are there, and that's why the minion wall is there. Oh, the minion wall is just because occasionally my towers would go down to the bosses. But anyways, we're now going to do control, or I guess V, just straight press V, tower boost, and then now we just wait for the map to finish itself. The DPS that we deal isn't going to look like a lot of DPS. I'm going to admit that right now. It looks like not a lot of DPS, but in actuality, it is a lot because of one main thing. We actually have all of our DPS being split amongst 4 characters. Also, don't worry if the chump characters die. As long as your main guy over there is alive, that's all that really matters. But as you can see, they can try to get our towers down. But as long as we have the tower boost up, it's never going to happen. So we don't have to worry about anything. And because there's only 4 things for our wristbands to focus on, we don't have to worry about ogres and whatnot coming in, because out of the 5 shots of the wisp, 4 of them are being taken up by these guys, and then 1 shot goes off to, like, nuke a poor ogre family or something. And for the regular mobs, even if they were able to get fairly far forward, it wouldn't matter, because they would just get stuck on the, what is it called? They would just get stuck on the gas traps. So yeah, it is a fairly efficient, fairly easy build, and most importantly, it is one that I know works consistently. And I haven't tested this, but I'm pretty sure this build could work for like 3k stats. So if you really wanted to get some like crazy weapons or something, you could definitely do it. Now it looks like, oh, look at that, the mage mini is going down a little bit. Now it looks like our tower boost is not going to last quite as long as I'd like, but that's still fine. Even without the tower boost, as long as you have at least one summoner with the 2 guardians, you will be a-okay. The super safe method is to have multiple summoners, like at least 2. But I'm just sticking with the 1 because, you know, I think we'll be fine. And also you can see that mage over there. Sure, he got a little bit low, but that little bit low didn't last for long. And it looks like 200 million HP. We are just about finished with one of these characters. The moment that I got my tower boost up, it is a completely sealed, set in stone GG. How much HP do you guys have? 190 mil. Huntress should be super low. Yeah, she's about dead. And then comes the squire or the monk. And then the very last person will pretty much always be the apprentice. The reason the apprentice is the last person always is because, without fail, the apprentice is always in some fuck off random ass location because he keeps falling off the map. Yeah, look at this guy. So yeah, expect the apprentice to be the last person. But just quick warning, do not get near the apprentice. If you get near the apprentice, he will start activating his mana bomb, and then he will obliterate all of your towers in one shot. Or all of your minions, and also you. So, functionally speaking, he will end your run. But, as for the campaign, in a few seconds here, we will be completely finished. And there we are. That's it. Pretty easy. Pretty damn easy. Oh, we got an achievement for that. Hell yeah. So, let's see. We got a Crystal Cane, which I think is the DPS weapon. And this one, fairly good on the upgrades. Seems like it's fine. You also get a few pets. I mean, that's par for the course at this point. 1 Crystal Cane that was good. 1 Crystal Cane that was pretty bad. By the way, fun fact. For some reason, these things can roll higher than you can upgrade their stats to. So, like, if you see here, 570 damage. Transcendence should only be able to upgrade to 420, but certain maps, they'll just give weapons that can go way higher than that if they're Transcendent. Anyways, 2 Crystal Canes, 1, where is it? Crystal Staff, or the weapon for Monk. It should be somewhere here. Here it is, Crystal Spear. I don't think this is good for anything, but I'll keep it for fun. And then, do we get a melee weapon? Yeah, we got a Crystal Mace. Sure, I guess. We don't have a Barbarian weapon for now. Oh, look at that. We got a Supreme piece of gear as well. Or armor. But yeah, the weapons, pretty good. The pets, whatever. And apparently some decent armor sometime. But most importantly, we have unlocked a mana farm. So, or not mana farm, sorry, XP farm. So let's get over to that. Let's start the XP farm. Funnily enough, Crystal Cave Survival isn't only easier than the campaign, it's also better than the campaign. And I'm pretty sure every single way. I'll explain why that is later, but for now, here's the build. It's pretty much the same as the campaign. Bit of a spoiler alert, but because we don't have to deal with any 1 billion HP bosses soaking up and dealing damage, we don't need any gas traps, and we also don't need any minions. So the build is a lot easier, and we have a little bit more DU to mess around with, which means you can allow one of your web walls to be a maximum DU web wall. If you're wondering why I chose that web wall specifically to be the max DU, it's because I don't want to think, and if I make that one the max DU web wall, I don't have to think. Now then, on to the Warden. Warden places a few more towers than in the campaign. Namely, we're going to place down 1 Mushroom Pit, 2 Cloud Towers, 1 facing top left, 1 facing bottom left, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 Wisp Dens, and that's it. Now we place the auras, and listen, I know there's a monkey. Don't worry about the monkey. I'll explain the monkey in a minute. But for now, that's the entire build. I have tested this build out and messed around with it. It works up until wave 27 with no issues at all. And I really mean no issues. All you need is 1 booster summoner that has a Huntress and a Apprentice Guardian, and you will be a-okay. The waves will go by fast. The bosses, not the bosses, the ogres won't like damage your crystal or your towers all that much. It's very easy brain off stuff. Now, if you're wondering why wave 27 specifically, why that odd number, it's not because I started struggling or anything. Yeah, it's because I had to go play Counter-Strike with my friends, and this was taking too long. You know, I said, hey, I'll stop doing it whenever the crystal gets hit, or I get, you know, I struggle, and I just never started struggling, and they got mad, so I had to stop. Anyways, here's the rundown. Bring in a summoner that has an apprentice and a Huntress Guardian, place them somewhere-ish over here, and then bring in whatever other characters you want to level. I'm going to bring in the Warden, Not only because she boosts her tower's damage by like 25% or whatever number, but also because we need her to be leveled. And then I'm going to bring in the Aura Monk because Monkey. Oh yeah, Monkey. Speaking of, Monkey is there because she's not doing any damage via towers, meaning she's eligible to get a 1.3 times XP multiplier because she's only dealing damage with heroes. Pets count as heroes. Now then, stand on top of this, press 9, and just go. And look at that. How much experience is that? 17, maybe 18, maybe 19 million experience just off of one wave that took 55 seconds. And from what I have heard online, the most efficient way to do this map for experience is you want to do waves 14 up until 25. And I think the only reason they do wave 25 is because you get a pet then, and then you reset. But that's if you want to do just the experience. I am lazy, and I just want to go away from my computer, sort of, or just edit videos, you know. If you want to be lazy and you're still fine with a little bit of inefficiency, with my build, I'm pretty sure you can do just about the entire map. Look at that. We are finished upgrading every single tower except for this bad... Oh, wait. No, that is every single tower. If you want to, you can upgrade these web walls, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do them because at the end of the day, they will upgrade on their own. One thing I will do very quickly, though, is swap out this character for a different one because, at least with the way that I'm doing this, I'd rather have my main character be somebody that I don't care about. What character do I want to level? I'll bring in the Hermit. There we go. That's fine. Hermit also not eligible for the XP multiplier because every once in a while, especially later waves, his golem will chuck a rock at any ogres or whatever is nearby and deal like 20 million damage. Anyways, bring in you, and then get into the spot and AFK. If you want to, you can upgrade the web walls, but I'm just not going to bother because I don't care. Oh yeah, wave 25. I forgot about this. You get a pet reward on wave 25. I don't remember if it's particularly great or not, but I think it's good for like assault maps. Although it appears as though we only got ones that are, what are they called? We only got ones that are Transcendent. Though to be fair, in my one test run that I did, I only got them in Transcendent. So maybe they can only drop in Transcendent. Maybe that's their whole shtick. There are a couple of things in the game that are like that. Anyways, I'm going to upgrade some of these web walls because I did notice we are beginning a little bit of struggling. Not really, but I know for a fact that if I upgrade the web walls a little bit, it'll ease everything a lot more. Although I'm pretty confident we are going to need a tower boost or maybe another Summoner Guardian for the later waves. But by then we might already be level 100 on our Aura Monk. Okay, as the waves become more frequent, it seems as though a Dark Elf Warrior being stuck somewhere like a moron is becoming more frequent. Maybe that means that we should bring in a bit of a better DPS pet to deal with them. And by maybe, I mean it definitely does. I should have something better than the monkeys that we got 2 years ago doing Nightmare Hardcore and Karathiki Jungle. Thankfully, the Harbingers take so long to spawn that I'm pretty sure that guy only has like 10 seconds left to live. So it doesn't even matter. That's crazy. Even with an inefficient build, it's not really that inefficient because of how stupid the map is. Upon further examination, I think this web wall here should be moved up to roughly this line or a bit earlier, because it doesn't seem to be doing too much at the moment. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm not going to bother trying to tower boost or anything unless I really need to. You know, I bet that pet from Sky City would actually be pretty fire here. Oh, we're level 100. Cool. So I guess I will swap you out for someone else. That's another like 100-ish, maybe 200 points for each of our characters now. That's pretty good. I guess I'll bring in the EV. Wait, hold on a minute. I don't know if I want to give up the EV stats, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't deal damage. Therefore, she can actually use a DPS pet properly. Okay, well, you're the closest thing to not being awful. Oh my god, what is this? What is happening? I'm just going to upgrade this to max, and I'm going to use that instead of our turkey. Hopefully it doesn't screw me over. And again, I'm pretty sure she'll get the 1.3 times XP multiplier, which is the whole reason that I'm bringing her out to the earth. Let me lock this. Let me lock everything before I forget about it. We are now on the final wave. So, I know I should probably swap out those characters for like a bunch of apprentices or something, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm just really curious to see if we can complete the entirety of the survival with just a summoner that easily. I mean, I think we can, but I mean, I don't know 100%. Let's find out. Alright, I might be calling it a bit early here, but I have a slight suspicion that we are going to complete the entirety of the survival with just a single summoner booster. That's kind of funny. Very kind of this Dark Elf Warrior to remind us of what we're fighting for. An annoying-ass last enemy that's just stuck midair. But that's it. That's the entirety of the map survival. That's kind of funny. I ran out of storage on my drive. But there we go. One last Dark Elf Warrior that was stuck, and we are done with the map. Oh, Chromatic Gemstone. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like some item equivalent or pet equivalent to the diamond pets or something. Can roll with really high stats, something along those lines. I don't exactly remember, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, pets are kind of whatever, except for these bad boys. Now, I think you can upgrade any of these to... Yeah, you can upgrade any of the stats to 800. So yeah, they're basically just diamonds. And they have, I think they have the same speed multiplier as well, so yeah. We'll be running this map at least a couple more times, so why not? Let's see if we got any good rewards, though. It doesn't appear as though we got any staff rewards, which is weird. No melee reward, no range reward. Wait a minute, where's the weapon? A little bit of stupid stuff, but I want to try out a build that I have in my brain because I think it'll work, and it'd be funny if it did. Okay, I did that for like shits and giggles, but wow. Wow. I guess if we really wanted to, we can farm these things really, really easily. Okay, now I want to see if I can just speed build the map and like not upgrade any of my stuff and just have it work anyways, because yeah, God is dead, I guess. So pretty much the same stuff. Resistance pylon, nature pylon, all that business. Please, there we go. 1, 3. We're gonna go on you, and I don't remember the exact layout, but there's something like 2 of you. 1 facing every major direction. 3 west bends, I guess. Doesn't seem right, but sure. And then hop on you, hop on you, hop on you, and then hop on you. Except you're probably gonna die, so I'm gonna just dump you on this island over here. Okay, so can I get away with this chicanery? As long as I upgrade this tower buff beam to max, can I get away with this? Because if yes, holy shit. Wow. How long was that? 7 minutes. 7 minutes. That's like kind of insane. No. Oh. And that's pretty much it for episode 9. This one ran way longer than I wanted it to, but quest for completion, Sky City, Ruthless Hardcore campaign finished, Survival finished. On top of that, same thing for Wintermire, and we unlocked the best mana farm in the game, and in my opinion, the second best pet farm in the game. I'll explain that in a second. And then we did the exact same thing for Crystal Cave, campaign and survival. Quest for completion, we're actually making good progress on it, finally completing things. So let me explain what I mean by the pets. Look at this chromatic gemstone that I have here. This is a dual stat cap and then 700 in defense HP and then only 400 in range. This is the best one that we have despite all of the attempts that I did on that map. Meanwhile, Wintermire, which we didn't do that many full completions of Wintermire on the survival, yet despite that, we have a bunch of turkeys that are like this, quad 700 or above, and these are not that far off of the maximum limit you could get on a chromatic gemstone. Except the only difference is that I didn't have to grind my ass off to get this. It was like a couple of attempts. I don't know, like maybe 10 or something. But yeah, that's why I call it the second best pet farm in the game. Speaking of pets, look at this giraffe. This giraffe is staying on this character until we finish the series. I have no idea if I will ever reasonably be able to farm for a pet that is better than this one. I don't think I ever will, to be honest. I didn't give this the attention or love that it deserved earlier, but this giraffe is beautiful. Thank you, RNGesus, for giving it to me. Also, all of our characters level 100, except for these two because I hate them. Meaning we can finally use all of these ultimate plus pieces of gear, especially this one. I had my eyes on this one for a while. I don't know how to upgrade this one. I'm going to ask Chiku in the Discord, but oh boy, I think this is by far, the best ultimate plus that I have, and I'm excited to use it. And also, I kind of want to armor farm a little bit more to get more ultimate plus items in the future. So here's a few problems that we have right now that will be solved the next episode. Look at this for our builder. Look at this. Look at this.
Holy Jesus! What is that? What the fuck is that?
This is an item that I'm pretty sure we got way back when on episode 1. Tinker's Lab Nightmare Hardcore Wave 1 Survival. Or Wave 1 XP farming. We need to get some better builder's weapons. On top of that, we don't have any good brooch or whatever this is called accessories. And our other accessories are also kind of lacking. On top of that, our current DPS monk, which my favorite class to DPS on, no DPS weapon. I want to solve all those problems in the next episode. So here's what I have my eyes on, like guaranteed I'm going to be doing this. Striking Tree. I want to do the campaign for this and definitely the survival because this can give an even better pet for builders. And also the campaign gives the second best weapon for monks in the game. I think for the builder weapons, I'm going to try out Akitiki Jungle because I kind of just like this map. And also in my past memories, this is like the map that I always went to get like quad 400, 500, whatever builder weapons in the past. Other than that, I'm thinking Lover's Paradise just because it's cool and I want to do it. And then maybe Forest Ogre Crash or some sort of a map to get our accessory situation sorted out, because right now the hodgepodge of random junk that we have, where like some of the stuff is like negative statted or missing stats, or it's bad. But that's plans for next episode. This episode should be released within the first week of March, and when this episode is released, I'll have given away the Boneyard Blade. So congratulations to the one person who replied to my giveaway comment, because so far nobody else has. But either way, that's it for episode 9. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in episode 10.